Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another Heart to Heart Talk with me. I'm John Kuert, interim pastor at First Assembly in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Well, it's been a pretty horrific day yesterday and today. And first of all, let me just apologize for not having a fresh devotional yesterday. We had to do a rerun, but I had a severe pain in my side, and I don't know what it was. It's gone away, but at any rate, I just kind of forgot about it and didn't do it. So sorry about that. Anyway, with all of what's going on in the country, um, I thought, man, we are so divided, and there is so much hatred and animosity on both sides. And we really need to get back to what's most important of all, and that is love. You know, and I know that people that do not know Christ uh, still love, but believers especially, that's priority one, and it's given by Jesus in the Great Commandment. You know, he told us the most important thing we can do is love God, first of all, with all of our heart and our soul and our mind and our strength. And then he tells us that the second priority comes right in line behind that. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And when he's saying that, he's saying that we all love ourselves, but we need to love others that same way. And if we don't, then we're not being obedient. Jesus gets that from the Old Testament in Leviticus. He said, don't hold any animosity toward your neighbor. And by neighbor, it's referring to other people, I think, and especially those closest to us, not just necessarily your neighbor next door in the house that lives there, but to anyone close to us. And it's always harder to love people that are closer to you and nearer to you. And I think that it's much easier to love the heathen on the other side of the world. But when we have people that we live with and we rub shoulders with and talk with and deal with every day, that's very serious. When it comes to love, we have to love them. And in the Old Testament, in Leviticus, Jesus or the Word of God says specifically that we are not to hold a grudge or have revenge toward a neighbor. Jesus didn't include that. He just said, love your neighbor as yourself. And so, anyway, there's, according to the old song, love is a many splendored thing. Maybe some of you don't remember that song, but that may be, but it's also a many definition thing. It's a funny word because we use it in so many different ways, even though in the Greek, there are many different words that are translated as love in our language, in English language. And so, but we have just kind of lumped it all together. So we say, I love my wife, but also I love my cheesy hot dogs. I love the Steelers. I love my car. I love my country. I love my dog. And so there's any number of truncated definitions of love floating around out there. Here's some of them. Love equals romance. You know, every once in a while you'll hear this actress or this actor have fallen in love with another actor or actress, and these days you never know who it's going to be, and then a lot of people, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, will, for some reason that escapes me, be interested in that tripe. Love equals romance. It's the theme of many of our modern songs these days. They use the word love, But for them, love has nothing to do with it all. It's all about romance at best, or illicit sex at worst. Well, in addition to some people say love equals romance, some say love is a feeling. I don't know if you remember the song B.J. Thomas, I'm hooked on a feeling, high on believing that you're in love with me. And that was a long time ago. But his words sum up the idea that love is an emotion, which gives us the, oosey-gooseys or the warm fuzzies. And, that's not what it is. Some others say love means you're never having to say, I'm sorry. Or love means never being critical or negative about another person. And that's such a popular sentiment today, which kind of taken to an extreme means that we don't, it's devoid of truth. And it should not be. If a brother is overcome in a fault, the most loving thing that I should be able to do is to restore him and confront him. So it's just not about never being critical or negative about another person. If we look in the scriptures, here's what Paul, the Apostle Paul, says is the definition. I think it's the greatest definition of love anywhere. He says, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, is not puffed up. Love does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. That's the definition of love. And here's the amazing thing, folks. If we don't have love, and I'm going to give you 5 equations of love. You remember back in the days of algebra days, this xy equals y squared or something like that. Here's 5 equations of love that are based on what I just read from 1 Corinthians 13. Conspicuous spirituality minus love equals absolute zero. Here's another one. Limitless knowledge minus love equals zero. Extreme faith minus love equals zero. Unbounded generosity minus love equals zero. And finally, the ultimate sacrifice minus love equals absolute zero. Paul says, even if I give my body to the flames, it's not necessarily clear what Paul was referring to there, but whatever it is, it would seem to me voluntary martyrdom or something else. It's clear that he has in mind the ultimate sacrifice. If I give my body to be burned, but we can do all of these things, but if we do it without love, it's nothing. So I just want to remind us today that regardless of what your affiliation might be with some political party, that we need to really get back to this most important, this ultimate thing that the Bible talks about, that Jesus said, most important is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind and soul and spirit, and love your neighbor, other people, as yourself. I had, during this election, I had two neighbors, one across from me and one next door to me, that put Biden signs out in the yard. I never put any signs out in my yard because I don't want to turn people off necessarily. But nevertheless, I haven't changed my attitude toward them as a neighbor. And so we can't do that. We need to love everyone. Love your neighbor as yourself. And so I hope that you'll do that. And I hope that you will love me for not having a devotional yesterday morning, and that you will forgive me for that. And I will do my best to not ever let that happen again. Anyway, I hope that you have a great day, and may God bless you until we get together again. Bye-bye.